They fooled me, we can't get fooled again.
In Dallas, Texas, 3 shots were fired at President Kennedy's motorcade in downtown Dallas.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
You don't know what you're talking about, do you?
Because people have got to know whether or not their president's a crook. Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got.
If you don't like what we tell you to believe in, we'll kill you.
All right, kids. Listen. Don't listen to this podcast.
Don't listen to this.
If you're not of age.
What's of age?
18.
16?
18. We're a bunch of dudes, and we're going to say some really bad words.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Conspiracy Podcast.
What it do?
What it is.
What it be?
What it did.
What it when?
As always, I'm Eric. How's everybody doing? You good?
Yeah,
I'm good, man.
You know,
fucking ready to rock and roll.
yeah, my kid's becoming a nightmare. She's amazing. I love her more than anything on earth. But
Terrible, what do they call it? Terrible
3 and a half.
Yeah.
Like,
2s, 3s, 4s.
she doesn't listen to me at all.
I'm going through the terrible 12s right now.
And then Eric's going through
Car insurance and shit.
yeah, like having teenage boys.
Yeah. Well, tonight is a special one. It's actually, this is our 3rd in a row of VIP rich person status selections, and this one's brought to you by Gamer Dave.
Ooh, Gamer Dave, the original
Shout
OG,
out,
like
Gamer
the OG,
Dave.
triple
Yeah.
OG.
Yeah.
Gamer Dave's also the lead moderator.
Yeah, that's
of our
right.
Discord.
Yes.
Yeah, and if you have a moment, actually, he's got a pretty good following on Instagram, and he's a gamer. And if you wanted to go check him out, some of his live stuff.
Yeah, check him
He's
out on
on
Twitch.
Twitch, right?
He's on
Twitch.
Twitch.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he's a fucking all around great dude.
He's a good man.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. So this is the Las Vegas mass shooting.
God, so fucked.
Yeah, and this is one of those ones that's really hard to dive into because, a mass shooting is
He's fucked up.
just overall
Yeah.
a hard thing to get into.
Hard topic.
And we
yeah.
want to say this is like because we know people will listen and they're expecting this to be fucking NPR and like we do try to have fun and make jokes and stuff, and we're purposely not going to get into the victims a lot because we're not going to do them justice, and they deserve like dedicated stuff for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we don't want to upset the fam. We don't want to,
Yeah.
we're not here to bring shame on
Yeah.
their lives, which were tragically lost.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead, we're focusing on the shooter, the events, the
That fucking
conspiracy theories of surrounding him. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so, we don't joke. We're not joking about the circumstance or the victims.
Yeah.
So you made a great part. I don't even need to keep talking about it. Okay, so here we go. On the night of October 1st, 2017, Stephen Paddock carried out basically the deadliest mass shootings in U.S. history. And it was from a suite on the 32nd floor of Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino. Paddock opened fire on the crowd attending a Harvest Music Festival and killed 60 people and injured hundreds of others. So to understand this horrific event, what we're going to do is we're going to examine Paddock. Yes. And we're going to examine what he was doing and hopefully find out why he did some of the things.
Put another one on the solve column for the Conspiracy Pod.
Exactly. So, and also what we are going to do is in our Patreon, and I'm going to figure out another way too. I will post all 60 victims because, as in this story, what I noticed is that when we do these stories, it's also about keeping the story alive.
Yeah, of course.
Keeping the memory of certain people alive, and because not Stephen Paddock, because
fuck that guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times, even like with with the one we just did on the murders in the bayou. It's like, when people forget about that, you start to forget that things like this are possible.
Yeah.
And people need to be aware. Like shit like this fucking goes down, and like it's damn. Yeah, we got some
background music, sound effects going on.
I know this is not the mixer.
We're down by the tracks. Yeah, no big deal.
Have some fucking beers down by the tracks.
Yeah. No, and what's an interesting exercise in this is so that the murders on the bayou, thousands of people have listened to that episode, and thousands of people now more look into that story.
Yes,
and look and know more about those girls that passed.
Of course,
you know what I mean. So
so it's like you're saying, you bring some not justice, but like at least some attention, like to their memory and to these girls. Yeah.
Like you remember OKC episodes we did?
Yeah.
And that was heart wrenching.
Oh God.
But at the same time, maybe that story was, I don't want to say forgotten, but some people didn't know about that story, and they don't know about it. Yeah.
As we grow up, I feel like the younger generation doesn't know about half this shit. They don't fucking know.
Sure.
They're a little worried.
Right.
They're doing TikTok fucking dances and shit. Like they're not worried about. They're not thinking about that.
Exactly. Okay, so let's dive in here. So Stephen Craig Paddock was born on April 9th, 1953 in Clinton, Iowa. He was born to Benjamin and Dolores. Funny or super weird, I didn't know this part of the story, was his father was a notorious bank robber.
Holy shit, what the fuck?
Who spent about 4 years on the FBI's 10 most wanted list.
Holy shit.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. And this was after he escaped from prison in 1960.
Damn. Back in the 60s, back in the day, like escaping from prison was like this a regular thing. Right? They're like, oh shit, did you lock up? Damn it.
Well, it's just like the chain gang.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's on the
What we have here is a failure to communicate. Name that movie. Anyways. So his early life is not well documented, which is the dad, right? He eventually married Dolores, had 4 sons, and including Stephen. Despite being a father, Benjamin's criminal inclinations overshadowed his domestic responsibilities, meaning
classic.
He just wasn't really there, obviously.
Yeah, classic. It's like, ooh, take the kids to baseball or rob this fucking bank now.
Let's get that money.
On the come up.
So his criminal career was really a series of bank robberies. He was arrested in 1960 in Arizona, convicted for robbing banks. He was known for his unremorseful demeanor. He seemed to view crime as just the way of life. He was sentenced to 20 years in federal prison. He was incarcerated at La Tuna Federal Correctional Institution in Texas. However, in 1968, he escaped, and that's what landed him on the top 10 list of the FBI.
How do people?
It's crazy that you can still escape. Like,
what do you do after you escape? Like, I don't even know what to do. I'm like, shit. Where do I go?
It seems like
this is before.
It seems easier.
Back then, yeah.
No camera.
No drones.
Nothing.
No, yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah, there's
No
no
AI.
Your ID is paper.
Face recognition.
No holograms and shit on there. You're like, fuck.
It's like you just write your name on the ID.
They're like, looks legit to me.
Trust me.
Yeah. My name is...
My name's Tiffany. Okay.
Sir, you want a bank loan? DB Cooper. Okay. Absolutely. Let's go.
Is 100 cool with you? Or
So following his escape, Benjamin adopted various aliases, including the following names: Big Daddy, Chrome Dome, and my all-time favorite, Old Baldy.
I feel like this guy just like
That's
wanted.
got to be your favorite.
I feel like he just wanted to get like an AP.
Yeah.
He just is like, he seems like.
I thought you were
he's
going
like,
to say one of the aliases was DB Cooper.
I don't know. Well, this is before DB.
Oh, yeah.
it would have been.
Right?
Still,
Right?
I am DB
Not
Cooper.
very far before it, though. Just a few years.
But fucking Chrome
Chrome
Dome.
Dome. Sounds like
He must have been an early
Pixar side villain.
He must have been an early balder.
Yeah.
Like to have all these balding names.
Yeah, I know that game.
Sorry. Is it really early though?
It's not that early
Yeah, I'm like,
anymore. Yeah, it's not that early. Yeah.
I mean, these are the perfectly timed.
I'm gonna keep those in.
Oh, do you
Yeah,
need
for
to?
sure. Yeah. So he lived as a fugitive for almost a decade, reportedly settling in Oregon under an alias named Bruce Erickson. During this time, he managed a bingo parlor. He engaged in other fraud schemes, etc., gambling, financial manipulation. Apparently, he was rather intelligent, so his, he was able to evade capture for
Yeah,
like
you
a
fucking
decade.
escape
yeah?
prison. I mean, you gotta have some sort of smarts for that.
In 1978, law enforcement finally apprehended Paddock. He was returned to custody and served additional time, though he was eventually released. The FBI described him as a psychopathic and noted he had diagnosed psychosis, making him a manipulative and unpredictable individual, which is, it seems like an
Makes
obvious
sense. Yeah, I mean, I gotta
diagnosis.
guess that.
Yeah. You know what
You
I
don't
mean?
need a degree
Yeah.
to figure that one out. Like,
Crazy, psycho,
piece of shit.
Loser.
But the reason we're bringing that up is because we're kind of painting the backstory to, Stephen's father and his family life.
Yeah,
You know.
it's
I mean,
not like
that's starting to make more sense with this psycho.
it's not a good influence.
Right.
But he was kind of gone the whole time. Running like Chrome Dome and
Big
running
Daddy.
around town and that sort of thing. His absence left Dolores, the wife, to raise the 4 sons alone. And it remains unclear how much Stephen Paddock knew about his father's criminal history, though.
But it also goes to show that, not having a stable father figure has an effect
True.
on growing children. Not just boys, girls too.
Yeah.
Like, that's you see a lot of these same issues in like the demographics today. Like, when they do these random statistics and stuff, like, you're far more likely to I forget what it is. I'm like making this up as I go, but it's like, you feel
Far
like
more likely to do a massacre.
no, you're just like be a crim. Like if if the family unit is like fucked,
The odds tip not in your favor.
exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not saying like you're automatically destined, but it sucks.
So Benjamin Paddock died of natural causes in 1998 in Texas at the age of 71. Which again makes me mad about karma.
I know it's like he was 200 years old.
Yeah.
Natural causes like
Yeah.
oh fuck this guy.
I know. Oh, I was about to get real mad for a second, but I'm not. But the last part of his life, he kind of faded into obscurity, so we don't really know. He kind of almost just lived a quiet life at the end.
I don't know how.
It's
Like
kinda
once
strange.
again, not sure how.
Yeah.
Like no social security card, no fucking.
So despite this wild start to his life, Stephen Paddock's early life appeared unremarkable. He graduated from John Francis Polytech in LA in 1971, and he went on to earn a degree in business administration at California State.
Damn, you got a one up on us.
Damn it! Should have his own podcast.
Stephen worked various jobs over the years, including a postal worker. He was an IRS agent.
Oh, cool. That makes sense. Interesting. What is the correlation between criminality and the IRS? Interesting.
Later, as an auditor for a defense contractor.
Even more interesting.
In the 80s, Paddock began investing in real estate and reportedly began to amass a large amount of wealth. So Paddock's childhood, while appearing ordinary on the surface, was shadowed by the wildness of his dad, not being there and being a criminal, being the FBI's most wanted, etc., right? But there's no evidence showing that he was a bad kid or a bad youth.
Yeah, he wasn't like fucking burning lizards and shit.
It's very kind of strange, By the 2000s, Paddock was living a life of pretty much affluence. He owned multiple properties across the U.S., Nevada home, Florida home.
Jesus.
He was also known to frequent all the casinos. He became a high-stakes gambler. Like he's the dude walking in, and there's nobody at the high roller table, and he walks in and he plays for hours.
He's got it like reserved.
Yes.
And they're just like funneling Hennessy to him.
Yeah, often betting tens of thousands at a time.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Casinos treated him as a valued guest. They comp the rooms.
Oh, of course.
The
The
meals,
buffets.
the perks. God knows what else they
Free
they
titty
comp.
bar action.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Or it's like, oh, yeah.
Free champagne rooms.
What do you want?
Champagnes.
It's like, just stay one more night. Trust me. You won't regret it. Yeah.
However,
Destiny's coming over.
beneath this veneer of success, so it's like a veil of success, it seems like somebody would be happy, but in reality, he was growing more isolated. And this is per the interviews of friends and neighbors later, right? Obviously, these are interviews after he committed a mass murder.
An insane atrocity.
So,
and of
I
course, it's
don't
going to be a little
know-
skewed. They're
yeah.
like, I knew something
Yes.
was off with him.
Yeah.
He looked like he was just a little sketch.
Yeah, it would be kind of like a dude you don't like.
Yeah.
You're like, that motherfucker. I hate that son
I know
of a
they're always
bitch."
like jealous of him. Those neighbors
So,
like his fucking
yeah.
yard's premium.
Yeah.
Fuck this guy.
And then they do something atrocious. And then you're like, I knew that motherfucker. Was,
yeah.
I
like,
know.
he was definitely yeah.
But it's also probably people that were probably like homies with them. They're trying to distance himself from him. Like,
True.
we didn't see him
True.
for months.
True.
I don't remember the last time I saw
That's a
him.
good point. Yeah.
So he had no close friends. He rarely interacted with neighbors and was described as aloof and a recluse.
I mean,
But that's like the typical fucking.
I was just about to say, like, people might think
True.
that I'm aloof.
Exactly.
And I'm a recluse. I mean, I see you fuckers twice a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and it's actually a great point. Is that what does that mean? It's just a
Did he
circumstantially?
I think a lot of people think like the neighborly thing to do, like you talk to your neighbors, hang out with the neighbors or whatever. But like,
But
no,
also, like,
that doesn't happen
I
anymore.
hate talking
No,
to the
but-
neighbors.
I know that just doesn't
the
happen
worst.
anymore.
Does he have kids though? Because that would be a different. Like, if it's like a single dude and he's like not like talk.
No kids.
Okay, so that's a little bit different. Like when you have a
Like
family,
more acceptable.
Yeah, no, it's less acceptable
Oh.
to be less social. When you have kids, I have an excuse.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
had to fuck the kid, fucking
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
did to go to fucking Target.
Yeah.
you know, like I just have a good excuse. Like when you're just like a dude, like a rich single dude, and they're like, why don't you calling us? Like, what are you doing? I think it's a little more odd.
Yeah, so I had this neighbor one day. I was walking out, and I was walking out of my house, and he's walking by, just like exercising, but he's like walking fast, right?
He's like doing the speed walk.
Yeah, doing like the
Olympic
speed walk or
walker.
whatever. And as soon as I come out of the house, he like just boom, he like takes a right turn like towards me, and he puts his hand out, almost like I don't know. I just automatically thought he was trying to sell me something. I'm like, no. Like what?
Jorge literally pulls a gun on him. He fucking backed up for 6 feet.
It's so funny because I'm like, no, I don't want. I'm not buying anything. I forgot what I said. I'm like, I'm not interested. I think I said. He's like, oh, I'm your neighbor.
He's like, dude, I've lived next to you for 6 years. What are you talking about?
He's like, oh, your kid plays with my kid. I just wanted to
Oh
introduce.
wow, we're like literally okay, Jorge. These are the signs.
Yeah.
I'm also gonna keep an eye on you.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking aloof.
So my point is,
Jorge, think their kids play together. And Jorge's like, who the fuck is this guy?
right? There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
kids
Like
play
nobody
together?
knows
Wait,
their
what?
fucking neighbors
I know.
anymore.
Yeah, this isn't
It
like
was
the
cool.
50s.
It was cool back in the day. though.
Yeah.
Oh, back in the day.
You know what I mean? You
Well,
bring,
that
you
was
bring
also-
over a pot pie.
It was also back in the day
know.
where you could just, I just say, I'm gonna go ride my bike. And my mom's like, be home by 10.
Oh, yeah.
No cell
You
phone.
can't do that shit
No
anymore.
way
What
to
happened
contact.
though? No, meaning like what changed? Like what?
I think.
I mean, a lot of fucking probably social media just
I think the,
put the scare in you.
Yeah, I think the act of social media.
Forensic files came out.
Yes, and then people start to get more aware of like the shit that's actually going down.
I mean,
and then
shit, you got an app now. You can look at all the fucking sex offenders and all
Yeah.
that shit around you.
And then that-
you don't want to
Have
do
you
that.
ever
though.
done that?
Not around Florida.
don't
You don't want to
ever
do that.
my wife has done it, and I'm like, I don't want to
ever do
know.
that.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
moving to
Yeah,
Antarctica.
but the problem is you can't move anywhere in Florida because everything's like that.
That's why I said Antarctica. I know, like fucking Florida, fucking hot spot for fucking psychos. Jesus, damn it.
So Paddock's relationships were also strained. He had been married and divorced twice and was in a long-term relationship with somebody by the name of Mary Lou Danley. And that was at the time of the shooting. Danley later described him as being moody and said he would often lie in bed groaning and complaining of some sort of illness or some sort of pain.
Okay.
His gambling habits, which initially appeared as a source of employment and status, gradually went to the dark side.
Oh yeah, like when you start losing consistently, and you're like, and then you're taking markers. And
Wait,
then
you're saying so like that's what he lived off of?
Well,
As it-
some think that he would like. Okay, so just imagine you go in with $100 grand and you turn it to 3,
Yeah.
and then you're like, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know those guys.
Oh yeah.
I
100%.
figured out the blackjack system. You know,
It's like,
yeah, like well, did you?
yeah, like this. That's what they want you to, and then they're like, "Ooh, look at this suite. Come back, stay for
I
a
know,
while."
right? I had a this is a super stupid story, but I was convinced I figured out a roulette system.
Yeah, you and fucking everyone else, bro.
I was convinced, right? It was all mathematical.
You
and
just always
everything.
play black and red.
So you would take.
I always win.
No, have you ever heard this I guess theory or whatever, which is that you double down
Oh yeah, you keep doubling and doubling.
Infinite double down.
And you will always, like, the theory is that you'll always make it back.
Yes.
Well, if your pockets
if you
have
are
enough, if you have
yes.
enough money, you're like,
Yes,
okay,
yes.
27 million on 37.
Yes, yes. And then, but
Theoretically,
when you get so deep, all you do is break even.
I know.
So true.
You just don't get murdered by
Yes,
the casinos.
yeah.
At the
And
end.
then nobody takes into account those little green fucking zeros.
I know, and they're like,
Fuck you.
There's like 2 of them or
It
something.
makes it so it's 47% not in your favor.
Yeah, of course.
You know, or whatever the.
Oh, well, that's only for playing the colors.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
only
Yeah,
for
yeah,
playing
yeah,
the colors. Yeah.
Anyways.
And there's some that's single zero, and then some have double zero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that's what they're talking about is where he made some money and then started to get really addictive and then started to be like, this is how I'm going to make money now.
Okay.
Unlike real professional gamblers, like, you know, there's a bunch of like these poker players I follow. I love poker. Like it's like Patrick Antonius and like all these
Yeah.
guys who are like, literally he goes cash games 3, 4, 5 times a week. It's like the buy-in's like $500,000.
Yeah, but they're playing like amateurs.
No,
They're
they
not
play,
playing-
they play other professionals.
But they're not
okay.
playing against a bank, right?
no, exactly.
or-
Yes.
casino.
I think that's why poker is like a much
But it's also
safer,
it's still like
safer bet.
they still lose shitloads of money, but like they're actually like geniuses and they're
Yeah.
really they're actual professionals. They're not a dude who like always on the come up on some couple properties and is
Right.
like now go to the casino.
Yeah.
Like, these fuckers have been doing this for 25 years.
Yeah, I guess what I meant to say is poker's a little bit less chance and a little more
It's-
skill.
it's individuals versus individuals
Yeah.
as opposed to the house who's like fuck you.
So
all on black.
while he won large sums of money sometimes, he also lost large sums of money sometimes. So this pattern created financial pressure. Despite his outward appearance of having a lot of money, his gambling habits were not just recreational, but seemed to serve as like his high and his.
It's
You know what I mean?
dude,
Like,
it's,
yeah, like
we've all been
you're
gambling.
Oh, yeah.
Shit's fucking exhilarating.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
And
man,
addicting as fuck.
Oh, dude, you get that hit. Thank God I don't have the money to gamble. 'Cause,
I know,
like,
I know.
Fucking, and my wife would be like, fuck
I
you.
don't know. I'm the other way. I get upset.
If you
Like, I
win,
get- no,
no, we're saying
like,
if you
just-
win, it's like addicting.
It's only the way.
It's like
totally.
the
Everyone
high-
gets upset when they lose.
But I'm like,
of course.
yeah.
I'm super pissed.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
even if I'm breaking even, I'm upset.
But
and
I'm
you're
like,
like, fuck this, I'm out. Like,
Well, like it's just not a fun. I don't get that. Like,
no, but like,
No,
when
but yeah,
exhilarating
that's
thing.
normal.
You're always just chasing the next win, though.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
I
when
get
you
it.
get that win, you're like, it's all worth it.
thank God the Hard Rock
It's
Casino
too
is
far,
too far
away.
away,
I
man.
know it's like the drive. I'm like, oh, and I'm gonna have some beers there. Like, I'll never be able to drive back.
so friends and family noticed subtle but alarming changes in his behavior in the years that were leading up to the shooting. He became increasingly irritable and paranoid, showing distrust even toward those that were closest to him. He began expressing concerns about the government, that somebody was spying on him, that somebody was invading his privacy. You know, he became a conspiracy theorist, essentially.
This is all part of the narrative.
Zinger.
Like, he started not trusting the government
Yeah.
because he was a criminal. I'm like, okay.
Additionally, on top of the mental, I guess you would call it mental deterioration, his health was deteriorating. He reportedly suffered from chronic pain and significant sleep problems.
I mean, he did say his long term relationship, he'd be groaning. You know, so maybe he did have some. Maybe he had like a fucking tumor or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And so these physical ailments may have contributed to him and his mood.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Makes sense, dude.
Especially if it was like a
Totally.
brain tumor.
Dude,
like
I
that
s-
shit fucks with you.
I slept wrong the other day, and I was fucking pissed the whole day. I was like,
It's called
pissed,
getting old.
pissed off, and I was like, great. And my kid wakes up at 6,
Oh,
and like I went to bed at like
true.
2, and I'm like, great.
Yeah.
I'm super happy. I love life.
And she wakes
So
up.
I
at
understand that.
6.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel the irritableness.
Yeah. These physical ailments may have contributed to his mood, etc. Despite his wealth, he avoided seeking medical help or any sort of spiritual or psychiatric help. So
You want to tough it out.
he became
Yeah, I feel like it's like my dad.
Yeah.
He's like,
I
know,
I'm fucking
right?
fine.
Yeah, it's kind of
Put a Band-Aid on it,
Yeah, it's
fine.
kind of like don't trust the medicos. And that kind of like.
While I
you know,
do
Like
agree,
my
the-
dad's like he wants to fix everything with garlic. He's like, I'll just take some garlic.
That's some got some fucking orange juice, baby. Like, got this shit. Some garlic on it. Dude, just mince a little garlic on that shit. Good to go.
So, and then leading up to the actual attack, and this is some of the stuff that I I newly learned that I didn't know. You know, I mean, we all lived through it.
Yeah, but it's like
but
I didn't do like a deep dive.
Yeah,
into it.
exactly. Yeah. He began planning the attack many, many months in advance, even years. Investigators discovered that he had made extensive preparations, purchased dozens of firearms, ammunition, accessories, and things that are called bump stocks. They allow semi-automatic weapons to be fully automatic, essentially.
Yeah. So the stock
Right?
is
Yeah.
yeah, because the stock is the part that goes like on your shoulder, I guess, right? Like, and then it makes it so that when the rifle recoils, it just like automatically
Just keeps going.
Yeah,
just keeps
like
going.
the recoil causes because
Yeah.
that's like what like how when you shoot a bullet and the slide goes back and then chambers another round.
Yeah.
Due to the recoil, but I think that maybe allows
So
it
from-
to
from
yeah,
what-
so it's like a bump just makes it so that it
Keeps
keeps
going.
the same motion going.
It's simulated automatic.
I got it.
Yeah.
So
Anyways.
essentially, it takes the word semi and it makes it
Basically.
right
Simulated.
Essentially.
Simulated because
Okay,
it's
yeah.
not actually
Doing it.
It's not actually like with a full auto you can just hold you just
Yeah,
pull
yeah,
it down
true,
and
true.
it goes.
I got you, yeah.
I think this is the action of the motion causing it to simulate.
Yeah.
So a year up to it, right, between 2016 and 17, he bought 55 firearms,
Damn.
That's so many. Yeah, but that's a lot of money on fire. Jesus Christ.
mainly rifles. And what he would do is he would go to many different gun shops, many different retailers, and just
Yeah,
kind
'cause-
of
So he was trying not to cause red flags.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
exactly.
they get to the same place. He's like, "Whoa,
yeah,
it's
because
your 17th one this week,
Yes,
buddy.
exactly.
Like, what are you doing?"
in the months leading up to the shooting, Paddock's behavior became increasingly erratic. He sold off several of his properties, including his Nevada home, and he began making large cash transactions. Now, keep this in mind for part two.
What was the cash transaction for?
exactly? We don't know.
Oh, okay. But how do they know they were large cash transactions?
Well, because he was selling it, and then he was doing wire transfers. And then
Do
there
we
were
know-
some that
do
were
we know to where the wires
There
were
were
going?
some that were out of country.
Ooh, like the Caymans.
Yeah. So now we'll take that up in a little bit because he was also dating.
little teaser.
He was dating Marilu Danley, who is from the Philippines.
I was sending it to his Filipino bride.
So,
I'm
but
gonna
we
get
don't-
you here, baby.
We don't know a lot about
Yeah.
what all of this means essentially. So after the attack, the investigators started combing through his financial transactions,
sure.
of which he wired large sums of money to two different accounts in the Philippines, where Mary Lou was visiting her family.
Oh, he's probably like stashed the cash.
Yeah.
Right.
So authorities initially speculated that she was part of it,
Yeah, that's what I would think.
True.
but she denies it, of course.
Of course.
and to her credit, if she had nothing to do with it, I don't want to say
It's
that.
possible.
You know what I mean? Like,
But like,
I don't
why?
want to say.
But also, like, why would he like to try to frame her?
Yeah,
I didn't
I
like.
don't know,
Why would
yeah.
he be? I don't know.
But she said she had no knowledge of any plans.
Oh, maybe she has.
anything.
Maybe she has like another aloof brother or something who's like in on it. Like, I'll take the cash for you, bro.
But like the simple theory of it, like with no conspiracy behind it, is that he knew what he was going to do.
And so he was offloading his cash. So
To her, he cared about her.
Yeah.
And was just like, hey, I want her to have this money.
yeah, and he
okay.
knew that the U.S.
what I
government
mean?
would have seized all of his assets
For sure, 100%, yeah. But not in
Not in the Philippines.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So Paddock meticulously researched potential targets. Now, keep in mind, we still, to this day, have no idea why he did this.
No,
Yeah, it's crazy. Just
There's
a fucking
no-
psycho. That's why.
dude. No, I'm thinking this dude was probably like on like meth or some shit.
Yeah. Just a fucking psycho on some
I feel
sort
like
of
that's
meds
why
or
you start
something.
getting paranoid. He's not fucking sleeping. Oh,
Yeah,
the
that
gov-
too.
And then he starts formulating
got
some
unlimited
weird
money in a
some
way.
weird shit. Yeah, so
Yeah.
we keep. I'm telling you, I'm pretty sure meth was involved at some point.
So he looked at different places in Chicago. There's a Life is Beautiful festival in Vegas he looked at. Lollapalooza festival.
Oh, so he
in
was
Chicago.
he was specifically
So-
targeting festivals for
So
large
we know
groups of
that be
people.
like based on his laptop or something.
based
like
on
just,
like he's like booking. He's like looking at hotels, looking at
Okay,
venues,
okay.
looking at
So
concerts.
he's definitely doing
he's
the
like
research.
looking
of,
around.
like,
Yeah,
it-
exactly.
It's definitely
gatherings.
pre-planned.
It's just predetermined.
to detailed.
Ultimately, he settled on the Route 91 Harvest Festival in Vegas. His research extended to even logistical details, meaning he studied the vantage points, entries, exits, and like how people would escape, not how he would escape, but how like
That's fucking
Okay, just
evil,
imagine
dude.
10,000
Oh, and
people.
like where they would go in
Yes.
case of emergency.
Like
where they would go in
Yes.
case of emergency.
Yes, exactly, right?
Jesus, how the fuck do you have so much time? Like,
Surveillance
oh, wow.
footage from his previous hotel stays showed him observing the similar layout, suggesting that he was basically fine-tuning his plans. His ability to move undetected through the casinos is really the terrifying part because he was a high roller.
Oh, and they probably he's probably so used to this like free reign, and he probably was able to easily go in there like, oh, welcome back, sir, and he can just like check out.
You mean the night of, or like in general?
Just months ahead of time.
Oh, okay.
He's like a
At all
ghost.
the hotels.
Yeah,
at
because the
all
night of,
you know,
like,
yeah.
I'm sure we're gonna get into it, but like, fuck,
Yeah.
what he was carrying in.
I
and all
know
that
it's
shit,
ridiculous.
Like, come on
It's
now.
insane. Like,
So Stephen Paddock's final days were marked by actions that, in hindsight, revealed how meticulously he planned it. Obviously, at the time, nobody knew, but looking at it, you could really see how calculated it was. And he was calm, collected, moving around. You know what I mean? Like,
crazy.
really. He arrived at Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino on September 25th. He initially booked a standard room. Over the next 3 days, he requested and secured an upgrade into a corner suite on the 32nd floor, which provided a clear view of the Harvest Music Festival.
but like, I was always on the assumption that the windows don't open in hotels.
Yeah, but you can shoot through it.
Don't worry. Yeah, we'll get to
Oh
that.
yeah. Sorry, I didn't think about that.
No worries.
God damn it, Jorge. Fucking logical as shit.
So he upgraded to the corner suite, and it provided a clear view of the festival grounds. This suite had full like windows. They were the
Oh, like the bay windows, like the big
you know,
floor to
and they're like-
ceiling.
yes,
Yeah.
they're like
Like-
these windows.
Okay, yeah, like
Yeah.
floor to ceiling.
They're
Yeah,
called bay
exactly.
windows.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
bay windows.
I mean, I don't know what the fucking
Yeah.
bay window is. What the fuck?
It's this, motherfucker. This is a bay window.
tell me in Spanish, then I'll get it.
El bay window.
La ventana bay.
Guantanamo Bay.
So, hotel surveillance footage captured Paddock making multiple trips to and from his vehicle in the garage. And you can actually see this video, and it's eerie as shit.
Isn't the one where he's got like all the luggage?
Yes.
He's like, I have 17
Yes.
things of luggage.
And he did it many times.
Yeah, multiple
this isn't
trips.
just one time. So, over the course of several days, he transported 20 suitcases
Jesus.
How was that not even the pull up? Not even
to
one
his-
red flag.
to the room, right on the cart. Exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, like the
20
bellhop.
suitcases. Yeah, these suitcases contained firearms, ammunition, and accessories that he would later use. Paddock utilized service elevators on several of those occasions in order to avoid drawing attention to the volume and the weight of his
Damn, they
luggage.
give you access to fucking
That's
service
what I was
elevators
gonna
as a
say. I
high
mean,
roller?
come
What
on
the
now.
fuck? How much money was he
crazy.
spending at these casinos?
Yeah. Despite these suspicious activities, Paddock's demeanor remained calm and unremarkable, and no real flags or whatever.
Wow.
It's interesting though, like how much you can get away with as long as you appear that you're supposed to be doing it.
Yeah,
People just like allow it.
I know.
Like there's all those like funny like.
There's just so many people around.
Have you seen like
that-
the YouTube videos too? Like the dudes will come in with like they go into like movie theaters with like a ladder and like they just like walk right
in.
back. And they're like, oh yeah.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, I saw that.
So as long as like you, it's
Like
interesting.
if you
how,
act as if,
yeah, if,
or
like,
you act
if you're
with
so much
confidence.
confidence and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be doing something, people will just assume that you are.
Yeah.
Because they're not supposed to be doing it.
Yeah.
So like, who are they to say that you're not?
Yeah.
I have a very strange story, but I think it's appropriate or relevant. Is so? Do you remember when Lord of the Rings was coming out?
Fuck
Like
No.
in theaters.
Never seen that.
Oh my
What the
God,
fuck?
I know.
Jesus Christ!
God
I know.
damn it, Jorge. How are we even like homies?
I know. You know what? Another one
I
I've
don't
never
even
seen.
know what this.
What? Don't
Harry
even-
Potter.
Okay. What the?
That's upsetting.
You know what? You know what meme
Yeah.
I would say? The send is the one I sent you today in that chat. I'm not gonna say it, but the one I sent you today.
Did I
didn't see it.
Did I see it?
The one I sent you today.
But then I look at it. I don't know. I have to look now.
All right,
Fuck.
forget it. Forget it.
No, but seriously, like when my
It just
daughter.
shows how like I only check them like in waves.
Like,
You know what I mean?
I wait till there's like 7
Yeah,
things.
it's like Saturday at like 4.
and I'm like,
Okay, I gotta-
laugh. No, but seriously, when my daughter turns like 6 or something, you just want you to come over and you'll just watch Harry Potter with us.
It's not my deal.
upsetting.
It will
Anyways,
be.
so
let's
It
keep
will be
going
your deal.
because Lord of Rings.
No, let me
and-
tell you the story. Yeah,
Yeah,
listen,
yeah,
let me
go
tell you the
ahead,
story.
go ahead.
I remember, Eric.
Yeah.
I remember.
Probably
Okay.
gonna get some
It was
gnarly
hot.
comments.
It was
on this
coming
one.
out on Christmas almost every year for the 3 that came out, right? And it was just hot. Yeah, especially the second and the third.
Dude, fuck yeah.
There were
Nerd.
lines. We were waiting in line to go see
So
it,
good.
right?
Dude, the movies are
It was
amazing.
phenomenal.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. So I was there with one of my brothers, and the line was too long, and we were worried we were going to miss the thing. And it was our whole family, and
You're all
we didn't know what
700
to
of
do.
you.
Yeah, we didn't know what to do. And it was like super kind of like stressful because we really wanted to see this. Anyway, so he did what you're talking about, and he's like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going to go. And he goes in to the place, and he walks in backwards.
Backwards?
Backwards, but confidently backwards. Like it was almost like it was weirdly out of place. and he just started walking backwards, and he walked in, and then he saved all our seats.
No fucking.
so
Why didn't
weird.
no one say like, why is that guy walking
I know,
backwards?
because it's so weirdly.
Well, everyone's like, I'm not crazy. I'm not
normal.
gonna say
Yeah,
shit.
it's so
Like,
weirdly like. I guess it's normal, Anyways, it's, you know.
What even who would
I
have
know.
thought of
I
that?
know,
Like,
right?
if
It's
I walk
weird.
in backwards,
But I guess it's the reason I bring that story up is because it's what you're talking about
with a
where it's-
purpose.
Yeah, and it's a confident of just doing normal things. I guess I don't.
So people are just like,
yeah.
okay,
Yeah, exactly. So 20 suitcases. Despite these suspicious activities, Paddock's demeanor remained calm. Hotel staff who interacted with him reported that he was polite and yet quiet. He tipped generously.
that's why they didn't say shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're like, oh,
I mean, he got help from bellhops, from housekeeping. Surveillance footage showed him casually gambling in the middle of the day, bringing stuff in,
Jesus,
Wow.
gambling,
Christ.
etc. He was eating alone at the hotel restaurants, just casually. He worked on his laptop in his room.
Probably
and,
does that.
downstairs.
Did that all the time. Like
Yeah.
it
So
didn't
he-
raise
Standard
any red
operating
flags.
procedure.
Yeah.
So there was no passionate aggression or weird things that stood out.
dude, almost
essentially.
seems like some fucking Manchurian candidate shit.
Yeah. But also, we don't know if the hotel's also protecting themselves.
True,
Does that make sense?
definitely.
Meaning, nothing's wrong.
I don't-
We didn't if there was something wrong.
They
didn't do anything.
No, of course, 100%.
they'd
But
be
in all
toast.
honesty, okay, if you're like one of those security even or bellhops or something,
Yeah.
you just see a guy walking in, especially a high roller.
You're not gonna say.
Why would you
nothing-
think that is
I
fucking
know.
rifles? You're not gonna think that.
No way. You would never think that.
No,
you were
that's
probably
true.
weird sex toys. Like
Exactly.
fuck it. Like he's gonna do some weird
leave,
shit.
Leave this fucking high roller alone. He's probably gonna have a sex party later on.
Yeah. So I can see from their vantage points. Well, what did they? He's bringing
Yeah.
in bags. I
Is
don't
it
know.
really that much of a flag?
Yeah. It'd be
Yeah.
different if he was walking in with the guns brandish,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh,
For
don't
sure.
look.
Also, if you were bringing in luggage and then somebody came to you and said, "Hey, let me see what's inside of that," you'd be like, "Fuck you."
Yeah. I'd be
True.
like, where's your
You know what
warrant,
I mean?
fucker?
Get out of here.
Take this 100 and shut up.
Get this fuck out of my face.
So,
Take this 100. Fuck off.
so it's pretty obvious that he carefully staged his suite. He arranged the weapons for easy access, and he even set up cameras inside the room
What?
and
Really?
outside of his room.
Why?
Because he had cameras in the hallway, so he knew when the police were coming.
Oh wow.
So he could see everything that was happening.
Okay, damn. This dude. This is
Motherfucker.
This is like a Jason Statham movie. What the fuck? I didn't realize it was this complex.
So investigators later described the scene in the suite as an organized chaos with firearms laid out systematically in rows and the ammunition readily available for each weapon.
Yeah, it's
so
like
weird.
the
You know what I
mag.
mean?
So as he runs,
Super organized.
so as he's running out of ammo, he just picks up the next one. Like it's
right.
ready
Yeah,
to
and he's
go.
got mags there for that guy,
Yep.
ready to roll.
and he's there for days or weeks even, and he's just preparing.
Wow.
In addition to his activities within the hotel, Paddock made several large cash transactions at the casino. Again, to gamble, we assume. He appeared calm and composed. He blended in seamlessly with the other guests.
I can't imagine just being totally kosher. Just
I know.
not no I'd be
But you're not a
fucking
psycho.
sweating. Though, sir, you why? I'd be literally nuclear sweat.
Yeah. September 30th, the day before the attack, Paddock purchased additional items. Receipts recovered from his room showed he had ordered room service many times, drinks many times. He remained in his suite for much of the day. Investigators believe that his decision to stay in the room rather than leave the hotel after bringing in all the equipment underscored his focus of preparing the room
Yeah, setting it up makes
and
sense.
almost like drilling.
Wow.
Yeah, you could imagine that there was some sort of
okay, I'm going to do this.
Like this. I'm going to go to
yes,
this one. I'm going to do this one.
On October 1st, I mean, because keep in mind, too, this is a casino. There's
Cameras
a camera
everywhere.
Every inch.
I
there's a
mean, literally,
camera.
I guarantee
Yes.
like their security room looks like the fucking architect room from The Matrix.
Yes.
It's just like the fucking whole room is
100%.
cameras.
So on October 1st, the day of, again, he did a routine, appeared unremarkable. It showed him walking through the hotel, dressed casually, carrying a small bag. He gambled again the day of, returned to his room multiple times, gambled again. His final documented actions on footage were consistent with a man going about simple activities, not leading to a horrific thing that would happen.
It seems very well thought out in terms of like maintaining normalcy. Because it'd be different if like, a dude like goes in there, he's in his room for 5 days without leaving.
Right.
That would be
True,
kind of
true.
sketch.
Right.
But he's gambling. He's doing normal, it seems like a real pattern of normalcy.
So a couple points before we kind of go to exactly what happened essentially in the sequence. He checked in under his own name.
Okay. So he knew he wasn't getting out.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, he's like,
Right?
this is
But
the
also,
end.
he's a high roller. Like he's got to check under his own name
True.
so that he can get that.
'Cause otherwise
suite,
he's not
and
going to be,
he can get past everybody without being questioned.
Yeah.
But it's also, it's like you're
And also, they know him. Like, what is he supposed to check in with a different name?
And but it's also like he didn't even try. Like you're resigning yourself to like this is the last stand
For sure, yeah.
This is the
Yes,
fucking
that too,
Alamo.
yeah.
That too. Especially if
Cameras
he-
in the hallway.
Exactly.
Every,
If he-
like, there's
Guns
no,
pointed both ways.
you're not gonna get out of this. Like,
It didn't seem like there's an exit plan. Like
No.
he's got a van ready down by the thing. There's none of that.
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it
makes
seems
sense.
like he's
he's on the 32nd floor. There's
Yeah.
fucking no way out.
True.
Unless he's like parachuting off the fucking.
yeah. Inside his room, he broke out 2 of the windows.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Answers that question.
and
those
that-
those
that
fuckers got to be
created-
thick. Like
Yeah.
those are like
Oh,
double
yeah.
pane, like
But
hurricane.
I don't know if he shot them out or how he broke them. Because if you shoot them, you're obviously going to make noise, and you're going to.
but if you break them, you're obviously gonna make
but
noise.
he's about to shoot
There's
everybody
less
up.
noise
True.
than
Yeah, true.
Well,
I mean, he's
good.
about to shoot.
That's a really good point.
And they were. It was a concert, right? So
Concert.
like, there's a bunch of noise. So
It's
like, you might
loud.
not notice a couple shots.
Yeah.
And that was actually one of the problems. was
True.
if you watch some of the videos, and they're real hard to watch, but
Yeah.
of people filming in the crowd, for the first like 100 shots,
No one really knew what was happening.
nobody knew they were shots.
That's fucked up.
You know,
Dude.
and it started to get real
Once again, never going to a music
when
festival.
people were hit.
Right.
Oh God,
You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
then
it's
you're
like,
dude.
yeah,
your buddy,
and even
your girlfriend, your whoever, right next to
Yeah.
you gets
Oh
shot.
my
and-
God, fuck,
and
dude. I don't
Everybody
know,
starts
like-
screaming and
How do you like recover from something
know.
like that?
Oh my God.
Jesus.
there's I mean, I wouldn't recommend it, but there are some videos where like one girl is she's just filming the whole time, and she's just trying to escape, and she's like jumping over people who are bleeding, and like it's like a fucking war zone.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
Yeah, it was crazy. So he broke out the windows in order to create the firing lines, right? And they gave him pretty much an unobstructed view of 22,000 people that were at the concert. Approximately 10:05 p.m., Paddock began firing into the crowd from his 32nd floor. The rapid bursts of gunfire initially caused confusion, with many attendees thinking it was fireworks. The realization of the threat soon led to panic, and then people started scrambling over each other and scrambling for cover.
And you got to imagine, like, there probably were deaths or serious injuries just from like the
Yeah.
stampede.
But you also don't even know where the hell it's coming from. So
Oh,
like,
so you're just
like,
like,
no idea.
Should I run left, right? Should I duck? Should I act dead?
and-
Should I like?
And you guys have both been to Vegas, right? So
Yeah.
like, there's
Yeah.
high rises everywhere.
No, dude,
Everywhere,
yeah,
yeah.
it could be
You have
coming from
no
everywhere.
idea.
Yeah.
You have no idea. The first calls to 911 were made within a few seconds of the initial gunfire.
Oh, good.
Police officers who were already on duty at the concert responded immediately, attempting to find the gunfire, but due to the elevated position of the shooter and the echoing, the acoustics kind of like in the area,
I'd be looking for muzzle flash, honestly.
But he might have been
was-
just hidden inside.
super hard.
Good point. Like from inside us through.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It was super hard to track down where it was coming from.
I
That's
understand.
the point.
Especially if
Yeah.
he was so calculated
and
about
it's so
the whole
far
thing.
away. Too. It's
And it's chaos.
And it's chaos.
Yeah,
Again, I'm
chaos.
not saying like they
Yeah.
did a bad job.
Yeah. Officers on the ground reported that gunfire appeared to be coming from Mandalay Bay, but it took several minutes to confirm where in Mandalay Bay. So meanwhile, Paddock just kept firing.
Several minutes. I mean, that's an eternity. When that shit's going down.
He was alternating between the weapons. When he would run out, he would move over, run out, move over. By the time he stopped shooting, it was 10:15 p.m. He shot more than 1,000 rounds into the crowd.
And my thing is like, just on that note, anyone who's ever shot weapons, that's not easy to do.
No.
Yeah.
Like after a while, your fucking hand hurt, your shoulder.
Yes.
You're like,
Oh, really?
dude, yeah.
I've never fired those kind of weapons.
Especially those kind of weapons. The higher caliber you go, like,
dude, it's
the
like,
more you're just like, oh my God. Okay.
it just takes it out of you. It's just like a lot, and you're like, okay, we're done. I'm like gonna go home now. It's like a 1,000 rounds is a lot of rounds.
A bunch of drugs and just adrenaline.
Really good point. The adrenaline's probably like maxed.
Yeah.
But to your point, yeah, I mean, yeah.
I just would have pointed out
a
that
lot,
that's like
a lot.
it's like a fucking shitload. It's not, and it's also he doesn't have full auto. He doesn't. So it's not like he just holds his finger down and it's
True.
It
Yeah.
burns through a mag.
Yeah.
He has to literally do this every time,
Yeah.
and that's a fucking lot of action.
1,000.
Do this 1,000.
Is it 1,000 times?
Yeah.
You have to do it every time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because unless he was a fucking like an actual specialist and could fucking and manipulate, which he most likely didn't do, because they would have noted that they were modded out to be fully auto.
No, they weren't. Yeah.
They weren't. So like he
just had the bump stock.
Literally do this 1,000 times.
Yeah, that sounds.
But
that sounds too much.
each
Yeah.
trigger has roughly, even if it's like really light trigger, 3 to 5 pounds of force to pull.
Yeah.
That's a
I
fucking.
mean, with the
lot.
bump stocks, though, it does help him. But
Yeah,
but
because it's moving his hand. And it's
Yeah.
like, but
But
still,
that was
it's
not
1,000 fucking times, bro.
yeah,
I just wanted to point it. I'm not saying he didn't. I'm just saying it's difficult.
Yeah.
It's
totally.
a lot.
Yeah.
Totally.
That's all.
like that's how much determination
Yeah,
he
like,
had.
that's a
That's
fucking-
crazy, man.
Yeah.
Persistence.
So inside Mandalay Bay, hotel security staff worked with the police and they found where the shooting was coming from. Security guard Jesus Campos was the first to approach the 32nd floor at approximately 10:18 p.m. So this is 13 minutes after he started firing.
Wow,
That's a long time. That's a fucking long time.
So he approached the door and Campos was shot in the leg through the suite door.
because he had the
Guys,
cameras.
and he had
cameras.
guns pointing the other way.
Oh shit! So he had
yeah.
it set up to like. Oh my god.
That's why he had the cameras, because he was like, these motherfuckers are going to come up. He thought of all the things.
Yeah.
Despite his injury, Campos radioed hotel security and provided the critical information that there was a shooter on the 32nd floor. He was shot. Get up here now, essentially. Yeah. Las Vegas PD officers arrived on the 32nd floor after the report. The officers moved cautiously, aware of the risk of further gunfire. They systematically cleared the rooms, evacuated the guests on the floor, using Campos' info and noise from the firing. They identified what his suite. So at approximately 10:55.
Oh my gosh.
SWAT officers began preparing to breach the suite. A battering ram was used to force entry into the room. The breach occurred at approximately 11:20.
Oh my God.
This is more than an hour after shooting. Officers entered cautiously expecting resistance, but he had already killed himself.
Oh okay.
His body was discovered lying near a rifle surrounded by spent shell casings, etc. The suite was described as chaotic with weapons everywhere, essentially. Investigators later theorized that Paddock may have intended to engage further with the police, but his reasons, he ended his own life, and we don't know why he didn't further kind of like stand your ground, I guess.
Yeah.
Or
I mean, but like despite anything, there's always a reason for everything.
yeah.
No one does like it may not make sense to us, but there's always a reason.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't just do this, and
Yeah.
no one meticulously planned some shit out.
Yeah.
Maybe
For
that
no
was-
reason.
That was his plan, the whole time. He's like, I'm not.
Well, I mean, definitely killing himself, I think, was part of the plan.
Exactly.
For sure. Or being killed by the police. Or
Right.
So Paddock left no note, no manifesto, no even like his electronic devices didn't even like.
There was no
He
like
didn't-
Word docs with like
Yeah.
fucking random shit.
Yeah, he didn't write anything. No suicide note, no nothing. The FBI conducted a year-long investigation into his background, financial records, personal history, etc. Their report concluded he acted alone, no ties to terrorist organizations, no ties to extremist groups. The agency described him as a quiet professional who was meticulous planning but offered no explanation as to why he did what he did. Some speculated that he was just driven mad, mental health, etc. But none of the theories prove out because there's nothing.
Yeah, there's no data.
There's no thing that said, "Oh, he wanted to be famous." There's no thing.
There's no
You know what I
record
mean?
of him going to like psychiatrist or some
Nothing.
shit.
Shit, motherfucker never even went to the
There's
doctor.
no prescriptions for him of
Nothing.
anything like this. So we have no idea, you know? He just was described as a normal guy who gave no indication of anything. So, of course, this led to renewed debates over gun control, specifically about bump stocks, actually.
Oh, yeah. I remember. Yep.
Yep. The U.S. Department of Justice in 2018 issued a regulation effectively banning the devices, but there are still some ways. But
Yeah, which is fine. Like I'm like, look, you know me, I'm all for like fucking gun rights, but I don't need to have a bump stock. Like I agree. Like
Right.
it's not like something I need to have.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
need that at all.
Yeah. So, again, I mean, for the survivors and victims, I mean, God only knows what they went through that night. And
Imagine
what they're still going
the
through.
trauma. Like,
yeah.
like how do
Still,
you?
yeah.
And
I don't know. How do you get over that?
And still, what they're going through now. I mean, this was only 7 years ago. So this is not like something that happened 40 years ago. This is
And
pretty...
even that seems like a long time ago. Like,
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go. I mean, that's essentially the story. I mean, I know obviously there are so many stories that are within this story.
But we're focused on one avenue.
Yes, exactly. About the victims, about the police officers, about there's a lot of cool documentaries about. I don't want to use the word cool, but like
Interesting
documentaries about the rookie cop who that was his first day. And like
Jesus.
you know what I mean? And
Quit the force. Fuck this. I'm out.
so there's all these different things, and obviously, like we said at the beginning, we were just focusing on the shooter and trying to figure out essentially why and how, et cetera, he did all this.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's Stephen Paddock, and
obviously part 2 is when we get into the conspiracies.
yeah. So and I'll give you a little teaser for part 2, which is essentially that there's different theories of Manchurian Candidate.
That's what I'm
kind of
saying. Man. Like,
scenarios.
there's like he was like activated. Fucking
Yes. The hotel, casino covering things up, not providing all the videos, because they kind of, again, we talked about there's a video angle of fucking everywhere in a casino. So you would see everything.
One of the things that I didn't like is like how was he able to set up like video cameras in the fucking hallway without them like being like, what the fuck's he doing?
yeah.
What's that thing he just put on the wall?
Yeah, exactly.
Where like what?
I know, yeah. So
Well,
I don't know.
there might be cameras there, but like, did they
Who's
catch that?
monitoring it?
Did they catch that one specifically? Because their eyes are mostly on the floor.
Good
Yeah.
point.
Than,
I would
than the
presume.
hallways.
Protect the cash.
Yes,
Yeah.
for sure.
100%.
But still, there's definitely negligence.
Always.
Oh my god.
So in the next episode, we're gonna go over a couple of theories. One of which is like we had talked about, which is the Manchurian Candidate one. Another one is that there's another shooter. Possibility. Second shooter. The other one is a government cover-up because the FBI. You know when you hear from the FBI the word lone gunman,
Your antennas go up.
Yeah, exactly. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's kind of what we hear about all the time.
Yeah.
That's the official report of almost every major assassination.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's the lone gunman theory.
And this is back to the fucking JFKZ.
Exactly. So again, as conspiracy theorists or whatever, you instantly red flag. So there's that one. There's also one about at that time ISIS. There was a connect. Like these are far-fetched. We'll go over them in the next episode. Yeah.
Aliens.
Yes.
Can't ever rule that one out.
I know, right? There's always a chance.
No. The other one is about an arms deal that may have gone wrong.
Interesting.
Interesting one.
Hadn't
Another
heard
one
that
is
one before.
false flag.
Why don't you save these for the...
I don't know. We're gonna go over them later, but I'm just saying. There's like a CIA one. There's mysterious wealth and where his money was going. There's a lot. There's a lot.
There's also a lot. I mean, when you think of like the loner affluent male,
Yeah.
like there is a lot of things like maybe he was in deep with the wrong people, and like this was, you know, they could be like, I don't know, like I'm always thinking like government is like somewhat involved in everything.
Yes.
Right.
So they're like,
CIA.
hey, you know, if you want your Filipino girl to like, you know, be happy and healthy, why don't you do something for us?
Filipino government's involved for sure.
There's one that
Those motherfuckers.
there's one that I am kind of interested in, which is that we brought it up a little bit, but it's about casino manipulating the footage. And it may not be a conspiracy in the sense of like obviously
them
Paddock
causing it.
Yes, like Paddock did it, and like he was the guy, but were they trying to basically protect themselves?
Dude,
from
it's
negligence?
a $1 billion business. They're
course.
100% protecting
exactly.
themselves.
Yeah.
Anyways, there you go. That's the Las Vegas shooting part 1.
Part 1.
Man, can't wait for part 2.
Definitely tune in next time for part 2.
Shout out Gamer Dave.
Gamer Dave, he's the man. And as always, we love your feedback, your comments. We do get things wrong
All the time.
You know, we
And you
love
let us
Eric.
know all the time.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, let us know if Eric got it wrong or
For
if
sure.
if you hate Eric. And
Yeah.
And if you hate our joking,
I know.
you don't have to listen, but we appreciate you listening.
Yeah.
for sure.
That's right. That's right. So we'll catch you guys next time.
All right.
Nighty night.
Hey guys, are you obsessed with us?
That's
I
cool.
am.
Can you just
we like
not
that.
get enough?
That's all right. We don't blame you.
We just launched a Patreon and Spotify exclusive content. There are 2 ways you can sign up for exclusive content. The first is through Spotify. There's a link in our profile description that links you to the Spotify premium page. And that's only $2.99 a month. And it gets you an ad-free experience and it gets you extra episodes that come out every month. The other way is through our Patreon. All you got to do is go to Patreon and search The Conspiracy Podcast, and you'll find us. There are many different levels there, all giving different amounts of content.
And you get a lot of bennies with this, like maximum bennies. No ads.
You get some exclusive discounts on our merch.
Oh yeah, you get access to our. We
Oh, yeah.
had a Discord.
Yeah.
You want to like talk to us in real time?
Do you want to yell at us constantly live?
Yeah. Do you want to have free access to cuss us out without any repercussions whatsoever?
Or just simply suggest a new episode that we got to do.
There you go. And on top of it, you get 5 free mini episodes right out the gate.
And then one a month from then on.
What is a
right.
mini episode, real quick?
A mini episode is basically a conspiracy or a mystery where it just doesn't warrant a full hour-long episode.
So go to conspiracypodcast.com/Patreon.